And just to speak on that, like that just goes to show how important timing and opportunities are because a big issue is so many people are scared, or it probably in your case wasn't even fear. It's just like a sense of like loyalty and pride to
That's a
change
big
what they're
thing.
doing.
Yeah, loyalty, pride. And as a young man, as a man in general, you never want to feel like it corresponds with the pride. You don't want to feel like you're quitting. You know what I mean? But I think there's a difference between quitting and like just simple intelligence.
Well, and it's always like, you got this side saying they're better, and then your
everybody's
side
better.
trying to prove they're better.
But even
so then if you
internally,
switch, it's like,
everybody's sales team is the best sales team. Anybody I've ever talked to in sales that has any ounce of, ego, which is pretty much everybody, it's always, I've got the best deal. We're live, another episode of Adversity Kings. How we doing today, Stan?
man, living life. Miami's beautiful.
Very beautiful. Long overdue, bro. Booked this thing months ago.
I think I bought this podcast 3 months ago.
Let's go, bro. Let's go. Incredible. Bro, so let's talk life. Let's talk, how me and you met and in the insurance space. And then, more importantly, let's start with the origin story. So where were you born and raised?
Decatur, outside of Decatur. So this small town called like Harristown. My graduating class had like 40 people in it.
Wow.
So middle of nowhere. Then I grew up there. I moved to New Jersey for like a year, 7th grade. Bounced around a little bit because my parents were always split. So my mom lived in Decatur, my dad lived in Harristown.
Yeah.
And I was like splitting every other week. When my mom would move, I'd go for a little bit and then come back. So
Yeah.
been all over, dude.
What's your nationality?
Oh, couldn't even tell you.
Just a bunch of whites.
I'm a mutt, yeah.
Yeah.
Irish, German, Italian, all sorts of shit thrown together.
And where'd they come up with the name Stanley Smith?
So my grandfather, his name was Stanley.
Yeah.
So it goes like my dad's name is Charles. His dad is Stanley. His dad is Charles. So it's
your son will be Charles.
No, I can't do that to him.
Chucky, get over here, boy.
I think today's day and age, you can't name a kid Charles.
No, that's definitely not I feel bad for all the Charles out there that are like in their 20s and your name's Charles.
Like Chuck or like something old.
Can you imagine a girl who's being like, Charles.
Yeah, couldn't do it. Right, but so yeah, dude, I mean, I grew up and then I moved up to kind of northern Illinois when I was like 16, Plano. It's another small town, dude. I mean, nothing special out there. So, and then I moved down to Dallas when I started insurance and then back to Chicago. So.
Oh, what was high school and all that like for you? Were you a cool kid? Were you a loser?
Yeah, dude, I was a hooper. Started my all 4 years varsity.
You can hoop?
So,
You can hoop?
Oh, yeah.
You a shooter? You a rebounder?
No, I'll take anybody and then nobody can guard me and I can guard everybody. So.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like that?
I like to hoop.
Man, I have a guy in my insurance deal in my old insurance deal that played in March Madness. I think he played at like Jackson State or something like that, but he's got the March Madness ring.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he can hoop.
No, I wasn't like that.
Yeah, no.
I'm 5'11".
Yeah, bro. This
5'11" American dude. So
yeah, no.
Definitely wasn't cut out like that.
This dude can hoop, bro. It looks like little Bow Wow. So
I don't even think you remember, dude. So high school was cool. I was a hooper, the whole nine, bro. I mean, I grew up. I was a pothead. I was selling drugs here and there. Sorry, Mom. Wasn't doing anything crazy, but like my whole life, I've been the main character. Always been money driven. Always been hustling. Like I just always wanted more, whether it was money or whatever. Like I just knew I was gonna be great. But then fast forward, I had just graduated high school and I was working at McDonald's, and me and you actually hopped on a phone call.
Yeah, so, you told me this months ago, and I was like, "There's no way."
This chick called like the Iron Blonde or something. She used to work for you.
Yeah.
She DM'd me about life insurance, and she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna put you on a call with my owner, Tristan." We hopped on a call. It was probably like 7 minutes long. I was supposed to get licensed and never did.
Dang.
So you had an opportunity. We would have been partners.
Absolute massive fumble. Shout out to I just retired the other day, and shout out to all my accomplishments and things I did in the captive space, but. As I reflect back, I think I wish I would have broken off sooner, got the paid training, got the ins and outs of the industry, and then got into something similar to that you did. You know what I mean? The brokerage space where there's a little more uncapped potential.
Yeah.
So, as much as I could look at that and be like, regret, I think it's good life went the way it did.
And just to speak on that, like, that just goes to show how important timing and opportunities are because a big issue is so many people are scared. Or it probably in your case wasn't even fear. It's just like a sense of like loyalty and pride to change what they're doing.
Yeah, loyalty, pride. And as a young man, as a man in general, you never want to feel like it corresponds with the pride. You don't want to feel like you're quitting. You know what I mean? But I think there's a difference between quitting and like just simple intelligence.
Well, and it's always like, you know, you got this side saying they're better, and then
everybody's
your side
better.
trying to prove they're better.
But even
so
internally,
then if you switch,
everybody's sales team is the best sales team. Anybody I've ever talked to in sales that has any ounce of, you know, ego, which is pretty much everybody, it's always, I've got the best deal. We've got the best deal.
I just made a post the other day, and it was like, we're not the best.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to go work for the best systems, the best training, the best structure, don't come work for me.
Yeah.
I'm not like, dude, I'm not that guy. I'm 21 years old. I've been in the business for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely don't have it all figured out.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to sit on here and lie to you. We're the hardest working, we're the most driven, and we have the biggest goals. And we're going to work every day ferociously trying to accomplish them. That's what separates us.
Yeah.
It's not because we have the best scripts, because we can sell the best, or we have the best training. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
We don't. I have no idea what I'm doing still, a year and a half in.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some things, like we were just talking before this podcast, there's some things that you still don't even understand or know.
Not at all.
And you've been doing it for 6 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, dude, there's no right way to do it. The only thing you can do is just wake up every single day and try your hardest.
So now the thing I'm curious on though is, so you moved down to Dallas? So you get your license, you're working at McDonald's in Illinois?
No, so I was working at McDonald's when I called you. So that was when I was 18. I didn't get my license until I was 20.
Okay, so 18 until 20, you're just working at McDonald's?
No, I worked at McDonald's for like 2-3 months. I quit. I got a warehouse job, was making $21 an hour. Did that for 2-3 months. I quit.
What warehouse job?
Menards Distribution Center.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, it was not forklift certified.
Yeah.
No. They had me just slinging boxes. And then I quit that. I went to college for a semester, went down there to hoop. Lincoln. I don't know if you've ever heard of Lincoln, Illinois.
No.
Down there by Springfield, another small town. Terrible. It was like the worst decision ever. I went down there. I was literally just getting stoned all day with a group of all the hoopers. Like, nobody was actually trying in practice. And it was like, dude, I'm a guy that likes to be pushed. I'm a guy that likes to achieve things. And it was just an area where like everybody knew they weren't making it past this college anyways. So they were just kind of at college BS. And so I dropped out the last week of the first semester. I went to the dean's office and she was like, are you sure? Like, all right, what if you come back to college? You're going to want these credits. You have a week left. All you have to do is take your finals. And I had straight A's, bro. I had 1 B and all the rest were A's. And I looked at her in her face and I said, I'm never coming back.
Yeah.
And I dropped out. And that was that. And then I went and worked at a gym for like a year, 9 months, slinging memberships, selling protein, you know, doing anything I could to make a buck. And then that's when I got started with insurance. That's when I got my license. January of 2023 is when I got the phone call. April is when I actually got my license.
Yeah, so you're a little slow with stuff.
Yeah, you know, I like to drag
until
my
you
feet.
really get into it, then you get into it.
Yeah.
So who reeled you in then? So January, who reached out to you? What
it was
that
this chick called Rena Richmond.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Rob Richmond. He's an absolute dog.
Yeah, I DM him all the time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him on the pod.
Done.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, come on, that's my boy. I can call him right now. We'll get him on here. So, but Rena Richmond's his wife.
Yeah.
She DM'd me some BS talking about like, do you keep your business opportunities open or something? We're looking for young, driven people in the gym.
Yeah.
It was obviously a sales pitch. And I was like, yeah, I do. What's up?
Yeah.
And we ended up hopping on a phone call. And then she was like, yeah, you know, whatever. And then what sold me is I hopped on a call with Rob. And he didn't call it a life insurance license. He called it a license to print money, which was dope. But he told me, he was like, hey, if you can get your license done, we'll fly you down to Texas. We'll put you up in a hotel, and we'll pay for your flight. So I said, so you're telling me worst case scenario, I don't make any money. I get a free trip to Dallas. Count me in. And that's what got me going. So,
man, that's like something I hear brokers doing a lot. And it's kind of appealing. You know, I could imagine I'm being 18 years old and somebody tells me
20.
At that 20 years old, you know, even in the 18 to 20s, it doesn't matter. You could be 28, 29 years old, and you don't know what you're doing in your life yet. And somebody hits you up and says, hey, we want to fly you out. You get your license to kill this insurance game, and we're going to fly you out to Texas, Miami, Montana, wherever these guys are, wherever these guys are. And we'll put you up for a little bit and see if you like it, see if you crush it. But that's a dope. You don't really hear a lot of salespeople saying that.
Yeah, well, he didn't do it either. That was the part that he didn't. So
Robbie,
I was supposed to like get my license and like right when I started, go down there to learn. Well, I was on my own for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But then luckily I sold like $8,000 worth of insurance. So I had won a bet with him. So then it was like
personals, family, or you were slinging leads?
No, that was all off leads.
Yeah.
So my first 2 deals ever were my grandma and grandpa.
Yeah. I
So
think you know what? None of my family could afford, nor did I even have much family to even talk to. My first deal was me door knocking. It was 9:30, 9 o'clock at night. And I door knocked this old lady like
last house
2
of the night.
hours. Yeah, 2 hours away from my territory. And I plug in the information to the electronic app and I put her down as a male tobacco user. And so my manager had to come out because I didn't know how to work the application, fix it. So we don't get out of there until like midnight,
Yeah.
you know, but it was a $2,500 deal. So it was like, I
that
remember
pays.
calling my mom up like in
So,
tears.
Just out of curiosity, what does one actually make off a $2,500 deal?
It depends on where you're at. And so with my old company, it depends on where you're at in the month, in the bonus. So the old company is structured in correspondence with bonus. You can make high comp per se, as long as they reward production.
Yeah.
Your first couple of deals, you're getting like 30, 40, 50%, but towards the end of the month, you might be getting, you know, dang near close to 100%. It'll never exceed 100%. You know?
Really?
No, but where you really win though, that I see it's super competitive is some of that bonus money is stupid. You'll see guys make a couple $100,000 in a quarter off of bonus money. You know what I mean? But like I tell people, like, listen, because they'll flex it as like it's a week paycheck. It's
I see them post
growth
that.
bonus.
Yeah.
So you take 3 months, you divide it by $100,000.
Well, and some of them even take it every 6 months, right? Like some of the real big ones you see, they're getting paid every 6 months.
No, they're all quarterly. Yeah, it's all quarterly growth bonuses. But when you break that down, it's like, okay, if it's got $100,000 and you divide it over 12 weeks, it's like, okay, bro, it's like $7-8 grand a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
a pest control guy posting his first
yeah,
back end.
like anybody could just
you
post
made $100,000.
You might as well just post what you made for the year and say you made that for the week. You know what I mean? It's like posting like 700,000 and be like, my week paycheck, like, yeah, looks like what you made for the year.
That's always been my number one thing, dude, is just complete transparency.
Yeah, that's the only way you can win.
Complete transparency, because like, dude, it's not hard to make money in this industry.
Not at all.
But like it is when you're getting told that you can make money and you're in a system where you're not making money.
Yeah, people sell the pipe dream. Like we were talking about, you know what I mean? I was asking you about the structure of like, you know, how do you guys set up your deals where you can have downlines making money and get into leadership and things like that? And like ultimately you got to produce. Like if you're not willing to work and produce, I think like it doesn't matter where you're at. If you're not a worker, you're not bringing value, the marketplace is not going to bring you value back in the form of dollars or in the form of anything.
Well, and if you never produce, like let's say you come in at a 80% contract level.
Yeah.
You're not producing to get up to a 100, bro. You're never going to be able to build a team, because here's the deal: is agents at 60, 70%, they're not making a lot of money. So what are you going to do? Bring a guy on direct to you at 75? Well, you have no spread.
Yeah.
You're not making money. What are you going to do? Bring him on at 70? Well, he's not making money. He's going to quit. So the number one thing you have to do in this industry is, first of all, get yourself paid, so you can show other people it's possible.
I've always told people that, you know what I mean? Like I produced hardcore for 2 years before I ever got an agent to stick. You know what I mean? Because when I got into this game, bro, it was all door to door. So imagine you had imagine you had to do everything you've done now, and you had to train everybody, and you can't train 100 people at once. Like right now, you could probably have 20 people come in and run them all through a training class, because you could just have one person do a presentation and everybody watch. And I sound like an old man, but like back in my day, bro, it's like you could train maybe 2 people, because you walk up to the door. What are you going to walk into the house with 20 people?
Yeah.
Hey, here's all my agents. I want to show them, you know, how I'm about to sling this big deal on you. So you mind if they all sit? You know what I mean? If they all
That'd
sit
be
here?
awkward if I was the client. Yeah.
People got yelled at for trying to take too many people in. Like, oh, they're scammers. Especially if you were ugly. You know what I mean? An ugly dude pull up with a bunch of people. Then you're like, you know, talking
or just
about
poorly dressed.
Poorly dressed. You know, because you know, a lot. You can have a lot go in your favor, even if you don't, you know, look as, you know, physically pleasing, by just keeping your health in check. You know what I mean? Like just working out and eating good is going to make you a lot more.
Dressing good, man. Just
Dressing
look like
good.
you're there.
Bro,
to
I honestly
be good.
used to sling a bunch of insurance just wearing tank tops and basketball shorts.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
But you look good.
I looked all right. But I would have flip-flops on too. Imagine me pulling up.
That's not cool.
Because I got super
like toes out or
not out. Never
okay,
out,
you had
bro.
socks
I'm black.
on. That's not bad.
I'm half black, bro. So I don't even think I wear my flip-flops without socks in the crib.
No,
you know what I mean? But
I don't even put my UGG slippers on without
bro,
socks.
I always got the socks.
Always socks. So I was raised. My stepfather is African American.
Yeah, I was gonna say you give me like kind of a black vibe.
So I grew up.
Maybe he's a quarter black.
He married. He married my mom when I was 3.
Okay.
Stepsisters, obviously African American. The whole family, as I grew up with them.
Yeah.
You know, Decatur is primarily African American.
Yeah, you gave me this vibe, and I've met one other person that was like a quarter black, and I was like, you gave me like a little. I was like, I don't know if his hair it could be kind of like 10% black. You
No,
know what
I
mean? Look
got
like a
zero
curl a
in me,
little
but I
bit,
was
but
just raised,
yeah.
So I got a lot of those values. That comes down when you said the sock deal. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
bro,
it
we
was
wear
like,
socks with everything. You
you know,
don't have
I
your
was like,
toes
okay,
out.
he's one of the adopted brothers.
Yeah, middle name's Cordell too, so it works
Oh,
out.
he was thinking about it. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Okay, so what's your first couple months like in the insurance game?
Dude, came out the gate slinging. So,
Wow.
kind of. So my first
Yeah.
2 weeks, like I said, I was on my own. Rob didn't fly me out. So
Yeah.
I'm stuck. I meet with Rob like once a day. I'd wake up at 8 a.m. and I'd text him, let's crush the day. Or like, oh, I'm hopping on the phone. Let's go right back to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I'd get up around like 12 or 1 and I'm working out of my apartment. How hard is that, bro? And that's why I don't do the virtual game, because people are so lazy.
Yes.
So,
Inherently lazy.
you know, I'm waking up, I'm dialing, and I got no idea what I'm doing. And I asked Rob, I'm like, you know, we're in a buy our own leads kind of deal. I'm like, what leads do I buy? He's like, dude, I haven't sold insurance for a year. I have no idea. I was like,
Yeah.
So we log onto the lead center and we're buying anything. And he matched me, but I think I spent $1,500.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money. I was making probably $6,000 a month. So, and we got paid once a month. And I'm on the back end of the month.
How'd you guys get paid once a month? I thought the
That's
carriers...
how. No, so this is at the gym. I got paid once a month.
Oh, okay.
So I quit. I went all in.
Yeah.
I quit my job and went all in. And because I quit, he didn't pay me my paycheck. So I'm living off the $6,000.
You were
from
working
a
at a
month.
small gym.
Yeah. He
Okay.
didn't give me my paycheck for like a month and a half. So I'm working on the $6,000 from last month. So I'm $1,500 gone on leads. And we didn't even know what kind of leads they were. So I'm ripping through them. Didn't close anything. And then I went to a lock-in in Indiana with like Joe Basso, Jonah Lewis, those guys up there in Indiana. Yeah. And that's when I sold $8,000 first week. So it was like I sold my grandparents.
You guys
that
hang
deal.
out?
Huh?
Since you guys are all close, you guys hang out?
Who?
Jonah Lewis, Joe Basso?
Yeah. I'm cool with all them. I was just on the phone with Jonah yesterday. But so I went up there, sold like $8,000 in like 3 days. And I was leaving one day. I just sold $4,000 in one day. It was my third day there.
Yeah.
And this is like my first time actually selling, right? And I had this girl, she was living with me at her apartment that I was paying for. It was a mess. And I told her, I'm going to leave at 7 o'clock. Well, it's like 8:30. I'm just wrapping up this deal. You know, I'm new. It takes me an hour and a half to close a deal, not 20 minutes. Like now, bro, my entire agency can close deals 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Our phone calls are very on point and short. Our scripts are good. But back then it took a long time. So I call her. I'm like, she's complaining. I remember telling her, this is what made me move to Dallas right here is this conversation. I remember telling her, I was like, I'm literally like, I just made $4,000 and I got to come back to you just bitching and complaining. Like, come on, like, leave me alone. So anyways, I get there. We go to Chick-fil-A that night. I pick her up.
Yeah.
We go to Chick-fil-A. We're in the drive-thru and the lady hands me the food and I'm trying to pay her and she didn't take my card. She's just like, no, you're good. I was like, this is so crazy. So anyways, I drive off because it's like she was clearly trying to give me free food or something. I didn't understand what was going on. And my girl starts tripping. She's like, you didn't even pay him. Just starts screaming at me. And I remember slamming on the brakes and I was like, listen, I'm not going to do this anymore. Me and you are done. And next day, I called Rob Richmond. I said, hey, have you booked my flight yet? Because I was supposed to fly out in 3 days.
Yeah.
He said, no, I haven't. I said, perfect, book a one-way. He said, where are you going to sleep? I said, bro, I got $1,000 in my account. I guarantee I can go down there and make enough money to get a place to stay. I'll stay in a motel until then. I'll pay for it. Don't even worry about it. I'll sleep in the streets. Like, we're here to sling insurance. I'll sleep in the office.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out. And I told him, like, bro, here's what you got to understand is worst case scenario, I go broke. My mom will give me $300 to get me a flight back home. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll go back to live with my parents.
Yeah.
So booked a one-way flight down to there, stayed down there for 10 months, came back once in the entire 10 months. Never came back, really.
Wow.
So
that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Literally, it doesn't matter what you say. That's what it takes.
First 3 months, dude, I slung $24,000 as you paid my first full month.
Yeah.
Made 16, 17 grand deposited, spent 9 of it back on leads.
Yeah.
And the rest, I got an apartment and a car. All the money was gone. You know, I was broke at the end of the month again. And then next month, 32 grand. Month after that, 38 grand. Month after that, 40. So
That's the most you ever made in a week.
In a week?
Yeah.
This week I've had like 53 grand deposited into my bank account.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
And it just all from all the different
transparency. I get once a month, I get a bonus. I mean, 13 grand of the 52 I made was a bonus that hit.
How'd you get a bonus?
Family First Life.
Oh, so they'll give you a bonus?
Yeah. 100.
Based off what?
It's a VP bonus. So team production. So I get a personal producer bonus, but I don't really sell anymore.
Yeah.
Then I get a team Team bonus.
So because your team grew or because it hit an X amount of production?
It's just based off of how many direct writers you have, how much production you're putting up, bonusable premium as well. So all the carriers have different bonus percentages. It's a lot of stuff they track. I have no idea because I don't care, bro. I'm gonna just sling insurance. If they're gonna give me a bonus, dope. So, and 13 grand's a smaller one. Typically, I'm getting north of like 20.
Sick.
So, yeah. So either way, I mean, 39 just off overrides.
Yeah, that's sick, bro. So 39 off overrides if you have an average spread of, 10, 15 points. 20 points. So you guys did like 1.5, 2 mil for the month? Or is that for are we talking about weekly?
1 point.
You guys did $1 million for the week?
No. 39. I don't know what the math on it is. We probably submitted 500,000-600,000 that week.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. In December, my agency issue paid 1.4 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you guys, was it your first over $1 million month?
Yeah, the month before that we did 830,000.
You got to put way more
Grew
money.
by $500,000.
No more money into this Louis and designer. All of it back into social media,
Back
brand
into
building,
business.
back into AK.
Yeah, no, I mean, so I stroked a check for most I had ever spent at one time in my life. Stroked a check for 52 grand
For what?
to get this new office.
Okay, did you you got it?
Yeah, so I guess I didn't have any financial backing or anything. They didn't trust a 21-year-old, so I had to put 3 months of rent down.
Where's the office?
Naperville. It's right across the street from our old one.
Are you guys in now?
Yeah.
Okay,
We're ripping. It's 13,000 square foot and we're out of space.
Yeah.
So Monday we reopened the old office we were in. We reopened that, so we're opening another $5,000. And then Thursday I meet with the landlord, so I'm going to stroke another 50 grand check because we're opening 3 offices. We're out of
all
space.
in Naperville.
All within a 100 block.
That's smart. I wish I would have kept everybody closer when I first started, and I started building and like, moving people over and sending people here. And it's like a mistake I see people make when it comes to building a business is dispersing, leaders and thinking, hey, let's divide and conquer. Typically you divide and get conquered. You know what I mean? You want to keep everybody super tight, like the 300 Spartans. A lot of people don't realize it's biblical, it's wisdom, it's knowledge, it's common sense. A house united stands, a house divided falls. So it's like one of the best things you can do is keep people close.
So much can go wrong. Like when Tristan's over there in Miami, it's like I don't know what he's doing. I can't control him.
Yeah, and building up the intimacy, the relationship, and everything like that. Because especially when you start separating from your boys and girls and people in business, you start like pocket watching, and people are like, "Well, he's doing this or she's doing that," and like
crazy
they
stuff.
make him
And
more.
like, dude, even now, like we're getting attacked from all angles.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's business.
My guys are getting DMs from people I've never even heard of, and they use my name, and it's like, bro, I've never even heard of you. Yesterday, I had a guy text one of my guys. He was like, the way Stanley makes all of his money is he overcharges on leads, and he sells them at a higher rate to you guys. You need to figure out how to do that if you want to make money. And then he was like,
that's a big thing I'll hear people say and like scare people out of the brokerage space is that the brokerage space is they just make money through leads.
That's my number one rule. Everyone asks me, Stanley, why don't you generate your own leads? Because I will never be responsible when the lead's bad and you paid me for it. I'll feel like a terrible person.
So you don't even sell leads?
I don't touch it with a 10-foot pole, dude.
Wow.
That's bad.
Wow.
Why do I need to make more money off my guys? I get paid for training and developing.
You're such a good dude, bro. I tell people this all the time. It's almost like the corruption in America when it comes to our tax system. When you really break down the dollar and see like the amount of money that we're truly taxed on, it's like it's not even irresponsible, it's disgusting. And when I see leaders do that in the captive space, in the brokerage space, it's like you're already getting on average between both sides, it's about like 17 to 20%. In the captive space, like whatever we would do, I would get about 17 to 20% when you would factor in all the bonuses, overrides, et cetera. And then I see like the brokerage space, like you typically want like a 15 to 20 point spread. And I look at it as like, man, if I'm getting 15, 20% and I don't have to sell insurance, I'm just recruiting, leading, training, building relationships, whatever it might be, I'm building this business. That's a blessing. Because I grew up so poor. I'm like, bro, somebody's giving me 15% of the revenue? I'm like a shareholder. Way. Like, how can I serve you more?
One thing I don't talk about is, bro, when I was born, we grew up in a trailer for my first 3 years. We were whipping one minivan for the whole family.
Yeah.
So it's like, and here's the other deal is, if you're good at your job and you do it the right way,
bro, you don't gotta tax people. You don't gotta manipulate people.
I'm gonna develop you, and I'm gonna get 15% for doing nothing. Because I taught you how to be a leader. You're gonna do it yourself.
And another thing is like when people want to leave as well. There's another thing I don't like is the entitlement syndrome and this ownership syndrome. Just slavery syndrome. People like think they own somebody for life, and then like somebody wants to part ways and they want to go build their own business. They want to go do another business, and one thing I hate and I will never do, and I've tried my best, I feel like I've never done it, is people want to leave me like, yo, just do it like a man or a woman, an adult, and we're good. Like, I'm good. Go. You have my blessing. I want to be friends because my relationship isn't based off a contract, off you making me money. Because I made hundreds of thousands when there was nobody, and I'm gonna make hundreds and thousands of millions with or without you. I want to be known as somebody that came into your life and brought value, because I know the only thing that's guaranteed in this life is death. Nothing's ever permanent. You have long marriages, that they end in death. One of them dies. In a perfect world, they both fall asleep and die together, but they don't act like that.
I just posted a reel the other day. It's so crazy to me. Like, if I come to you and I give you $100 worth of free leads, right? And then you'll go and tell somebody that he doesn't do enough for me. I don't have to do anything for you, bro. Yeah. I could be selfish and do this shit myself and make millions of dollars. I don't have to do a thing for you.
Yeah.
You've your whole life, bro. And some people have support systems, some people don't. But like, the way I grew up is you had what support you had, but most people didn't support you. Most people were against you. Nobody lifted you up. Nobody did anything for you. It was every man for themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm in an industry where I'm pouring out money. I'm talking about thousands, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a month into my agency and people, and not even like on rent and stuff like that. Like, that's just a bill. I'm talking about on dinners, leads, licenses for broke people that can't afford them because I want to see them get started, things like that. Ubers for people to get to work, gas money because people are struggling, paying people's rent, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then people are going to go like, oh, he doesn't do enough for us. Like, bro, I don't have to do anything for you. It's crazy that you would go and say that. But I'm the same way. Like, if you are trying to go and coordinate behind my back and then you want to leave, but then you also try to plague the rest of the team, it's like, I'm going to burn you to the ground. You're a nobody. You don't even have half the resources I have. But then, like, if you just come to me and say, hey, Stanley, I have been presented with this opportunity, I'll release you, bro. I want to help you out. I'm going to tell you good luck.
Yeah.
You try to hide it and do it behind my back, I'll burn you to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be a shark too in business, So I think the biggest thing is like just not being, there's no other way to put it, not being a pussy, So it's like, it's the warrior in the garden. It's why I like training. It's like, I would never go out of my way to just absolutely beat the dog crap out of somebody. But if push come to shove and we have to end up in that situation, then that's what's going to have to happen. And I think a lot of people don't realize the most damage isn't what you can do to somebody physically, but it's what you can do to somebody, mentally, emotionally, and ultimately destroying somebody, through business ventures, if that's what it has to come to, So I think that's something people sleep on as well. And the worst people to compete against are the super endurers that can just endure
everything
through everything.
They don't give up.
They don't give up. You know what I mean? I think that's like my talent is like, man, it doesn't matter what season of life that I'm in. I'm not gonna give up. Some people might. There's a lot of people out there praying for my downfall and wanting to see me do less or, just completely get out of the industry. But it's like,
well, if it makes you feel any better, dude, I want you to do the best you freaking can because I want to beat you at your best.
Yeah. You never want to compete somebody. It's like sparring. It's like if a midget walked in and was like, hey, I want to spar you. Or if like a toddler came in, like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like beating up a kid, It's like, it's like a 14, 15-year-old came in there and was like, oh, I want to fight you. And it's like, okay, if I lose, I'm a loser. If I beat him, I'm a loser.
Yeah.
So you don't want to compete with.
It's like when you see people like trying to take other people's agents and things like that. Like, I've never done it.
Yeah.
I never really need to. Never will. It's like, bro.
I can't think of anybody like over the years that I've like, man, I acquired this person from another
So many people reach out to me wanting to come to me.
Yeah.
If you have to reach out to other people to try and take them and convince them to come, you don't have any
bad
value.
Business, bro. You got to
build something that people are attracted to.
Yes.
Don't build something that you have to drag people into.
Yeah.
And create lies and use people's names. Or if you're ever using somebody else's name in your pitch, you probably shouldn't be pitching it.
Yeah, you probably should just put a dress on.
Something, dude. But man, I can't stress you enough how just fun this journey is. People get so caught up in the drama. And I don't give a flying F.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I don't, bro. I was piss poor broke a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, making $4 or $5 grand a month. I was getting mistreated by women. She's cheating on me in an apartment I'm paying for and shit like that. Didn't have any nice clothes, nothing like that. I was wearing one pair of shoes a year.
I can tell you love flexing on the clothes now.
I'll make 3-4 mil this year.
Come on, bro.
I made 1.2 last year at 21 years old. I can buy anything I want with credit or whatever, you know. Like, I quite literally can do anything.
Yes.
I'm out here in Miami right now.
You got to buy a jet.
I woke up and said I'm gonna go to Miami.
Yeah.
I don't know about a jet.
I know. Because I be feeling that way too. I'm like, get the credit by it. And then I was like, it really becomes wealth when you can start to consider the jet and the yacht. And that's why I like coming down to Miami and finding people that have built legitimate businesses.
That's the goal.
And they're like, yo, I got this jet. Like I own this jet. And I'm like, okay, now that is where I need to be. What are you doing? What have you done? And the biggest thing I've gotten from the guys with jets and yachts, and I think it's really just 2 of them that I know that got jets and yachts, is don't compromise character, build your own business, and stay freaking patient because it's going to take over a decade to get to that level. You know what I mean? Because I always tell people like the cars, and I've done it, the car's the designer and, you know, all the different things. It's fun. It's exciting. It's a representation you're good at getting a couple 100,000 liquid. But the jet, the yacht is a representation that you're good at getting a couple mil liquid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're not financing
I've been talking, it's funny enough, because even when I was broke, I've been talking shit about millionaires and billionaires my whole life. I've been saying I'm going to be a billionaire. And I've preached since I was like 16, 17 years old. Oh, when I'm a billionaire, I'm not going to have $1 billion net worth where I got a couple cribs and a business and my stocks are, I'm going to make $1 billion in 1 year.
Yeah.
I've been saying that. Same thing with $1 million. I was like, bro, like you're not cool if you're a millionaire because you got a house that's worth $500,000.
Yeah, and you just go off of like
I will cash
assets.
flow $1 million a year, and that's what I'm doing now. This shit's liquid.
You know what I mean? Like getting it legitimately liquid. You know what I mean? Like, and I think like I always tell people too. It's like I've grossed millions over the last couple of years, but there's a difference in having a mill liquid. I don't have a mill liquid. Like that's a whole different level of like holding a mill liquid just because you can maintain, you have enough cash flow.
That's a saving thing. We got to get better.
We have to get better. And I always tell people too, it was like, and I was telling you, bro, like I ain't ever really, I'm not worried about saving right now. I'm worried about figuring out this game of chess. And am I still playing checkers? Because I feel like for a while I was playing checkers. I think the chess game starts when you build your own business. I think everything else, like checkers, is just practice. You're figuring out sales, you're figuring out money, the economy, networking, relationships, you know, skills, all of that. And then when you figure that out, you go to chess. And now it's like you're back to square one. You're a pawn. And then you level up and you level up and you level up. And then to the extent it's like, and maybe every piece represents like a mill liquid, you know, more assets, more appreciation. But you don't get on that board until it's your business. You're building equity. And that's what I love about some of these, you know, businesses and opportunities out there. I would not advise long-term working within a sales company that doesn't have some form of equity opportunity where you could have shares.
Exit strategy.
An exit strategy. And doesn't advocate for it. Because then it's just a trap for you to be a sales hamster to make, you know, that company more money. You know what I mean? Which is, there's nothing wrong. Everybody should play, you know, within a league at a certain point in time. You don't go straight to the league.
I feel like in companies as well, it's like there's a certain aspect of within the company, there should be a point where they don't make any or they make very little money off you because the value you bring to their company and working with them is not going to be the money you make them.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be the name you brought them, the reputation, the whole nine, you know? It's like if you have contract levels that go up to 190, why are you capping your people at all?
Have you heard of that? Yeah. There's contract levels that go up to 190?
Bro, dude, I'm pretty sure they go up to like 200.
Yeah, because when you do the math on the policy, if you have a persistency of 80, 90%.
7 to 8 years.
Yeah, bro.
So they're willing to give
up 2 years. So
up
if they give up 2 years and they like the carriers, bro, they are caking 6 years of profit.
You can quote me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure. So when I sell a policy through Company A, same day, takes that policy and sells it to Company B. They're getting their money right away.
Wow.
And Company B is taking on the risk. That's how
Company B doesn't sell to Company C and Company C doesn't sell to...
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
So it's like nobody actually...
I've never heard
Nobody really knows how this insurance shit works.
I was thinking too, bro, because I was like, I thought of this years ago when I was breaking down like percentages and things that I was getting. I was like, if this policy stays on 10 years... no wonder they're giving up 2 years. You know what I mean? People are so excited about, I have 130 comp.
When
I'm like,
somebody goes like, oh yeah, you cap out at 100. And I'm like, no, this deal goes up to 145. And they're like, wow, that freaks every new agent out.
I be telling people, I was like, bro, this deal could go up to 1,000. Keep it on for 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because the only way I would beat, you know, higher comps is I was be like, listen, there's 2 ways to look at a higher comp. Is you can have a 1,000% comp with another product, another service, whatever it might be. If you sell 0 of it due to the quality of the resource generation, you're not making
That's
any
our
money.
slogan, baby.
You know
Comp
what I
don't
mean?
get you paid.
Comp doesn't get you paid. And then more importantly, the retention on the persistency on that policy would be the term you guys probably know better, is also a relevant factor. It's like, okay, I give you a 200% comp and that deal comes off. in 2 months, in 3 months, etc. It's like, well, it's a 200%.
Pay that back.
Yeah, it's a 200% chargeback, clawback.
People and dude, the chargeback always feels bigger than the commission.
It always feels bigger. Bro. It always comes when you don't need it.
That's the other thing, dude, is like people have to be so smart in life because every business has chargebacks.
Yeah.
You know, in insurance,
every business has charge. I tell people, look up the returns on Amazon. What do you think that means? You know what I mean? Like, it's a chargeback. It's billions a year. I tell people I want my chargebacks to do more than their business does. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want my chargebacks to be more than your agency is doing a year in total revenue, because it's also representation that my business is, well, I lose more than you even do.
And like, people get so attached to the dollar. Like, let's talk about how unimportant the dollar is.
Yeah.
Like, this game is knowledge. So if I can figure out how to sell $2 million a month of insurance, right? But then 50% charges back, which is a terrible number. That should never happen. That's fine. I learned how to sell 2 million. Now it's how do I just get the retention higher? That's easy. What's hard is learning how to sell at such a high volume, learning how to get these people to sell at such a high volume. So it's like, bro, you know, you lose a little bit of money here and there and you don't get attached to it and you get knowledge, and knowledge costs so freaking much.
1000%. A big thing that you also hear a fear tactic used is roll-up debt. What's the legitimacy behind that?
My first year I had like maybe 10, 15 grand roll up, but it was like, you don't notice it. You don't see it. It comes in little pieces. Yeah. And like, you get roll up debt if you let somebody write a bunch of bad business. Yeah. But then you're like, oh, well, I'm getting paid right now. I'm getting these overrides right now. It's like, let him write the bad business.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna just, whatever. If he gets in trouble, he gets in trouble. Yeah, well, then you got to pay for it. Like, you got to eliminate that stuff right away. You can't let that stuff go on. It all
starts in the hires.
So here's how roll-up debt works is if you write 10 grand, 5 grand charges back, you leave, somebody's got to pay the 5 grand, right? Yeah. But one, if you build a culture where your agents aren't leaving, no roll-up debt. And two, you're always going to outright the debt. Like, I don't let my agents sit around with debt. If you got debt on company A, you need to write company A and get rid of it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if you see somebody just randomly write 20 times more business than they've ever written, you should probably put them on as earned immediately.
Yeah.
Where they just get paid monthly, because it's like that might not be good business. You know, you just gotta be smart.
Intuition and patience.
Yeah. And structure your deal right. You know, make sure it's structured out wide. You separate it the correct way. The people closest to you, make sure you trust them, you know?
Yeah.
It's not that serious, bro. What are you going to do? Roll me 40? I got an agency doing 1.4 million. You know how quick that 40 will disappear?
Yeah.
I lost 40 grand. Oh, well, I got rid of a bad agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've just never cared, bro.
Yeah.
I'm always going to make more money.
Yeah. 1000%. Yeah, it's sick, dude. Super sick. As we wrap up here, what else is on your mind?
You know, I feel like you spend the majority of your podcast talking about other people, dude. You're young.
Yeah.
How old are you?
46.
26?
Yeah,
26?
Yeah.
And you've been in insurance since you were 20, 19?
19, 20. Yeah. 19 was like my first full year.
And it's so crazy because now it's like everybody's looking at you at this platform, right? Social media guy, insurance guy, whatever the case is.
My retirement went viral yesterday because of all the homies over there.
271 shares. I think
it's
seen
up to 300 now.
Nuts.
Yeah, it's sick. I got a lot of momentum right now.
But I mean, when you were 19, who were you?
Nobody. Broke kid. Growing up on food stamps, food bank lines.
Now, when you were 23, who were you?
Made my first meal. 22, I made my first gross meal. 23, I lost a meal. So I lost my first meal. Made my first meal, lost my first meal, got a meal back, made another meal, and retired, split up a partnership. Have you gone through a split up yet? Like a partnership split up, a business partnership split up?
So I don't know how that works.
Just think of it like, have you lost a big... everything's a part. I call everybody partner. Yeah. Have you lost a big leg yet? Have you and somebody had a falling out that was very valuable to you and your business?
Back when I started, but dude, you got to think. So when you're
look
only
at my growth, a year
growth,
and a half in, bro.
Yeah, when you got to look at my growth. We were doing 80,000.
You've had incredible growth.
We were doing 80,000 in January. We did 1.4 million.
Yeah, you've had
in December.
What would you say the biggest thing that has contributed to that?
Relentless work, bro. We're working like crazy.
In-person culture. You have good standards. You have a good heart. That's what I see.
Crazy culture. I mean, and you know, you're talking about the designer and stuff, bro, but every time I go and buy another Louis bag or something, that's 10 more recruits.
Yeah, they love it. I don't even
they
get
love
a bunch
it.
of
They
kids
eat it up.
Yeah.
And bro, there's not a single agent in my agency that can't sit at my table.
Yeah.
Right. I don't care if I'm going to the club and one of my agents is like, hey, I heard you're going to the club. He could be broke and never have sold a. Yeah, come with, bro. I don't care. I'm going to a nice dinner. Come with. I'm going to lunch.
With a bunch of guys. I've only
like,
gone
bro,
to a club like once or twice.
If I'm going down the street and to Chipotle or something and I walk in there and I see 10 of my lowest producing agents in there, I don't care, bro. I'll sit at the table and eat with them. I'm worth $1 million. I'll pay for their food. Like, they're all family, dude. And people joke around that my agents, they say, Stanley doesn't even work anymore, man. He just comes around and daps everybody up all day. Every day when I walk in, every single person in my office sees me smiling.
Yeah.
What's up? How you doing, man? What are we making money today? What's going on? My door's open. Every day when I leave, every good day, bad day, doesn't matter, tired, not tired.
Yeah.
Every single agent that's left in my office, I open up every door. I walk through every cubicle. Every single person sees and hears from me all day, every day.
Have you seen the show The Office?
No. I don't watch TV.
Yeah, no, but there's characters in there that kind of relate to, like, sales related. And you got to look into it. Just
you gotta
like a
watch
little YouTube clip of it, snippet. You wouldn't understand completely, but I always try to, like, figure out people's, like, characters, their life, who they are. What do you just like shopping? That's your hobby. I can see what you post. That you like to shop.
Well, so the other day you blame me for shopping, bro. I was texting you about how, like, oh, yada yada yada. You were like, yeah, when things are like that, I just spend more money. I said, you know what, he's right, and I'm gonna spend 13 grand shopping.
Yeah, that's not what I was trying to get you to do.
You know, you got me fired up.
Yeah,
so,
no. No, it's true, man. It's legit. So
I just like buying all the things I never had.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, when I first started, I went on a splurge, man. I went on a splurge. I was buying guns. I was buying cars. I was buying clothes.
And do you regret
cribs.
it? Who cares?
No.
I'm gonna make the money back.
Yeah, no, because I think when you grow up for a good period of time, like broke and the food stamps, food bank lines, and just you see everybody else getting it and you don't get it. It's not a matter. I don't think if you're like me, I wasn't buying that stuff because I just wanted it. I wanted to feel what I didn't get to feel as a kid, what everybody else got.
Like the other day, I went and bought my boy a Louis bag. When I spent the 13 grand, 3.6 of it was on my boy. I bought him a Louis bag. And I wasn't even going to buy myself anything. But I was like, oh, I want a Go Yard. So there was one out there in Chicago. So I drove out to Chicago, got myself a little Go Yard bag. It was in Neiman Marcus, though, which I'd never been in a Neiman Marcus. That was like a candy
never
store.
Been in a Neiman Marcus?
No. So anyways, I went upstairs. I was trying to find the Go Yard store. I couldn't. I seen this Montclair coat. I said, hey, if I can't find the Go Yard store, I'm just going to buy this Montclair coat. Well, then I bought the Go Yard. The lady came down. She was like, hey, she showed me where the store was. And the guy that worked at Go Yard gave her the commission on it. And she was like, oh, you're so nice. Like the people upstairs on the 4th floor, they don't do that. They're very rude. And I was like, fuck those guys. Let's go to the 4th floor right now.
Yeah.
And I walked in with her. I said, give me that I was trying stuff on, tried on this jacket I liked. I was like, all right, give it to me. Give her the commission. And I was like, that Montclair, I want it. Give her the commission. Because after I bought the first jacket, I seen the dude's reaction. Because I tried it on. I was like, all right, ring it up. He was like, that's it? I was like, yeah, what do you mean, bro? I came here to spend money. So then I was like, fuck it, get the Montclair too. So it wasn't even about that. Like I wanted this stuff, which it's all cool stuff. I'm glad I have it. But it was more so just about other people's reactions and just,
That's
like,
sick,
fuck those guys on the 4th floor. What do you mean they don't give her commission?
That's sick. All right, guys. Well, I can't think of anything else.
It was long overdue. I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you after this. I want to see if you're interested in getting some of your top agents on. I got something new I'm launching in person meetings, 50 grand. So I'm playing. I'm playing, but no, we're gonna wrap real quick, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning into the AK Pod. Thank you, Stan, for coming on out. Excited to do some more work in the future. So let's go. Peace.